Hello my fellow pod pilots of New Eden, EddieRio here, and this time in a Vigil Fleet Issue. I will put the fit in the description below, and the basic idea of this is that the Vigil Fleet Issue has a bonus to its web range, so I'm going to fit 2 webs and I'm going to try and keep everything at a distance. I've also got a warp disruptor rather than a warp scrambler because the scrambler just isn't going to hit that range. I've also got rockets over light missiles. I think that there's better damage application from rockets on smaller targets like frigs as well. But because of this, I've had to fit a couple of rigs that extend the range of the rockets and also use javelin so that they manage to hit out at the distance that I want them to. We are up against a Rifter in this first fight and things are going pretty well, although I'm starting to lose capacitor, so if the fights start lasting too long I know that I'm going to start having an issue with my capacitor. But the Rifter is in over half hull and I know that this is in the bag by this point. So good fight, thank you for that. Next up we have a Hawk that decides to slide into my Plex and have a go. One thing that I do now that you might notice is that I will sit in a complex and I won't try and capture the complex, and you can kind of sit there for a while and you've got 2 opposing rats that will just fight each other and not aggress you. So it can be quite useful if you want to have a fight and not let the rats aggress you or your target, just not to do the complex and sit in the complex and wait for that fight to come to you, and hopefully you won't have to deal with the rats as well, but you can kind of act as if you're doing the Plex when you're not really, you're just sat there waiting, sort of fishing for the fight to come your way. A Hawk is definitely not a ship I would normally take flying a Vigil Fleet Issue. It's 9 times out of 10 I think the Hawk is going to kill you, but when you've been up quite late and nothing's really come your way and you haven't had an engagement in a little while, you just think, well, to hell with it, let's give it a go and see what happens. And to be fair, that's where some of the best fights happen. Don't worry about your kill board, don't worry about how it looks, take a chance, take the fight, see what happens. Measure your experience and fun in the game, not on the kill board. So I'm doing alright here, aren't I? I've managed to tickle his hull a little bit in between his reps, so a good bit of overheating might punch through his reps and damage his hull a little bit more. I'm starting to have cap problems just as my ancillary runs out, but it's too late for him and he goes down. Great little fight there, wasn't expecting to win that, but really good fight. Next up we have a Slasher. Slashers are good little ships, but they just don't have that much DPS, which I will say is very similar to the Vigil Fleet Issue as well, but the Vigil Fleet Issue has the added bonus that it can play that range control game with its web bonuses. And at the beginning of this fight you can see that Slasher trying to make range on me and trying to get as close as it can. I zoom into the Slasher to watch what he's doing so that I can keep an eye on any sort of moves that he's doing in case he decides to change direction, and he's trying to get in range, so I know he's going to be autocannon fit and he wants to get as close as possible. Look at the missiles exploding on him there. This game does look very cool sometimes. At this point you can see he's turned his ship around. He is now in fleeing mode, so he is going the opposite direction, so it's up to me to try and keep on his case to get the win here. So I know he's not even red boxed me at this point, he's sort of given up, he's just trying to escape, I guess. I would also imagine that he's changed over to barrage, and yeah, he's red boxed me now, so he's swapped his ammo type over to a longer range type so that hopefully he can get some hits on me, but I am still out of range at the moment. He is really on the edge of my web range at points, and I'm having to overheat them, and at this point he manages to get quite close to me and get a few hits in, but I manage to then start pulling away again, but also manage to overheat one of my webs, which really does not help in this situation. A Vigil Fleet Issue is cheap as chips. It cost me practically nothing off the loyalty point store, and a slasher is cheap as chips as well. But look at this fight, it's amazing fun and it's really good, it's really engaging, and it just shows that you can have a lot of fun PvPing in EVE Online for very, very cheap. You don't have to spend billions of ISK and have the best fights and, you know, bling everything out. You can have amazing fights in some of the cheapest fits in the game. And that is also the testament to faction warfare, and I hope they continue to improve the mechanics of faction warfare to encourage this type of solo and small gang PvP within LowSec. Look at this though, he's trying everything he can to get away, and I'm trying everything I can to keep him in range, and at the moment he's too close and I'm applying too much DPS and he goes down. But great little fight that. And last but not least, we have an Imperial Navy Slicer. I've got good memories of the Slicer flying around with a friend of mine, both in Slicers, sort of nano fit with Scorch, hitting out at the edge of that sort of 20-kilometer range and flying around in nullsec, having a lot of fun in this ship because the speed that it can get up to and the range that it can hit at with Scorch is awesome. So because of that, I know that he is going to be able to apply DPS at range to me, but it's going to be a game of trying to get my webs on him. So you play that little game of trying to get range on him, wait till he starts to approach you and get that slingshot, turn around, approach him, overheat those webs and try and get them on him just like that, and as soon as he's in that range I'm going to be able to apply my DPS to him then. But it is always going to be a close one. Ammar can sort of instantly change their ammo type as well, so once he gets in that close range he can swap over to a shorter range ammo type very quickly. But he starts to enter hull, he's in a lot of problems and he goes down. That's all for this one, quite short. Please link me up some Vigil Fleet Issue fits because I'd like to try some different fits with this as well. But I will catch you in the next one. Fly safe.